When we talk about the new Hollywood, few names carry as much weight and raw emotional gravity as Paul Mescal. The Irish-born actor didn't just enter the scene, he haunted it, starting with his breakout role in the limited series Normal People. In an era where many leading men feel manufactured by a gym to superhero pipeline, Mescal represents a return to a more vulnerable 1970s style masculinity. He possesses a rare ability to convey deep internal conflict with just a glance, a trait that quickly caught the attention of the world's most prestigious directors. From his Oscar-nominated turn in the indie darling Aftersun to his transition into the massive, high-stakes arena of Gladiator II, Mescal is proving that he can carry the weight of a blockbuster without losing the soul of an artist. What makes Mescal's trajectory so fascinating for the flip side of fame is his deliberate avoidance of the typical celebrity circus. He has cultivated a persona that feels grounded and almost anti-Hollywood, preferring the quiet intensity of the stage and independent cinema over the constant noise of social media. This strategic mystery has only added to his allure, making every project he touches feel like an event. By choosing roles that challenge the traditional tough guy image, he is effectively rewriting the blueprint for what a modern leading man looks like. Paul Mescal isn't just a star because he's talented. He's a star because he feels real in a world that often feels artificial, making him the definitive anchor of this new cinematic generation. While Paul Mescal represents the quiet intensity of a new era, Jenna Ortega has become the face of its most aggressive and strategic career shift. Her journey is a masterclass in how a modern actor can dismantle the Disney darling archetype and replace it with a darker, more authoritative brand. From her early years as a child star on Jane the Virgin and Disney's Stuck in the Middle, Ortega didn't just wait for fame to find her. She hunted for roles that would shock her existing audience. Her transition into the horror genre through the Scream franchise and the global phenomenon of Wednesday wasn't an accident. It was a calculated move to align herself with the goth glam aesthetic that has made her a Gen Z icon and a fashion industry staple. What truly separates Ortega from her peers in 2026, however, is her evolution into a high-level producer and creative force. She has publicly advocated for more creative control, famously working with writers to ensure the integrity of her characters. By the time she starred in and executive-produced projects like The Gallerist and J.J. Abrams's The Great Beyond, she had effectively moved beyond being a talent for hire. She now wields the power to shape scripts and visual aesthetics, a level of influence usually reserved for veterans with decades of experience. Despite her massive fame, she has been vocal about the flip side of childhood stardom, admitting to the isolation and high-pressure stakes of growing up in an adult workplace. Jenna Ortega is no longer just a scream queen. She is a mogul in the making, proving that in new Hollywood, your voice is just as valuable as your image. While many modern actors find success by leaning into niche, a 24-style indie prestige, Glen Powell has climbed to the top of the new Hollywood ladder by revitalizing a nearly extinct archetype: the unapologetic, charismatic, high-octane movie star. For nearly 2 decades, Powell was the industry's best-kept secret, working in the background of everything from The Dark Knight Rises to Scream Queens. However, it was his breakout as the cocky, but capable hangman in Top Gun: Maverick that finally weaponized his megawatt smile for the global box office. Unlike many of his contemporaries who shy away from the spotlight, Powell embraces it, positioning himself as the spiritual successor to the Tom Cruise and Matthew McConaughey lineage of reliable all-American leading men. In 2026, Powell is proving that he isn't just a face. He's a strategic architect of his own brand through his production company, Barnstorm Productions. By the time he starred in the massive disaster epic Twisters and the genre-bending Hitman, which he also co-wrote, he had successfully convinced the industry that movie stars could still drive ticket sales without a superhero cape. His current slate, including the high-stakes remake of The Running Man and J.J. Abrams's The Great Beyond, shows a deliberate move toward popcorn cinema with a brain. Powell's flip side is his relentless work ethic. He spent years being told he'd be lucky to play a dead body on a procedural before becoming the man who saved the theatrical romantic comedy with Anyone But You. He is the rare actor who understands that in the digital age, being a superstar requires equal parts talent, business savvy, and a genuine love for the spectacle of the big screen. In the shifting landscape of the new Hollywood, Ayo Edebiri stands as the definitive multi-hyphenate success story. Unlike many stars who began their journeys in front of the lens, Edebiri's ascent started in the writers' rooms of critically acclaimed shows like What We Do in the Shadows in Big Mouth. This background as a writer and stand-up comedian has given her a unique edge, a razor-sharp sense of timing, and an authentic, grounded energy that feels light years away from the polished, PR-trained personas of the past. When she finally stepped into the spotlight as the ambitious sous chef Sydney Adamu in The Bear, she didn't just play a character. She became the emotional heartbeat of one of the most stressful and beloved shows on television, earning both an Emmy and a Golden Globe for her efforts. By 2026, Edebiri has successfully leveraged her television fame into a diverse and high-impact film career. She has proven her range by moving seamlessly from the raucous, fearless comedy of Bottoms to prestigious dramatic projects like Luca Guadagnino's academic thriller After the Hunt, starring alongside legends like Julia Roberts. Her flip-side appeal lies in her refusal to be pigeonholed. Whether she is voicing a pixelated character in a Pixar blockbuster or making her Broadway debut in Proof, she maintains a relatable, slightly chaotic charm that resonates deeply with Gen Z. Edebiri represents a new breed of A-lister, one who writes, directs, and acts with equal proficiency, proving that in the modern era, the most powerful tool a star can possess is a voice that is uniquely and unapologetically their own. While many actors of his generation are content to remain within the safe confines of teen dramas, Jacob Elordi has executed one of the most aggressive and successful pivots toward artistic credibility in recent memory. Initially known as the towering heartthrob of the Kissing Booth trilogy, Elordi faced the flip side of instant fame, being pigeonholed as a hollow physical specimen. However, rather than leaning into the easy paycheck of romantic comedies, he deliberately sought out the most challenging and transformative material available. His portrayal of the predatory Nate Jacobs in Euphoria was the first signal to the industry that Elordi possessed a dark, magnetic intensity that was far more old Hollywood than anyone had expected. By 2026, Elordi has firmly established himself as a serious dramatic contender, working with visionary directors like Sofia Coppola in Priscilla and Emerald Fennell in the viral phenomenon Saltburn. His choice to play Elvis Presley not as a caricature, but as a vulnerable, lonely figure proved his depth, while his role as the charismatic Felix Catton showcased his ability to command the screen with a vintage, star power energy. Currently, as he steps into the iconic role of Frankenstein's monster for Guillermo del Toro, and leads the high-concept miniseries The Narrow Road to the Deep North, Elordi is following the career blueprint of legends like Brad Pitt, using his physical presence to get through the door, only to dismantle it with daring, often unglamorous performances. He is no longer a teen idol. He is a meticulous craftsman who understands that enduring fame is built on the risk of being misunderstood. While many stars are carefully managed to maintain a flawless image, Florence Pugh has risen to the top by being radically and sometimes stubbornly authentic. Since her breakout in the folk horror masterpiece Midsummer, Pugh has demonstrated a range that few of her peers can match, moving effortlessly from the period drama of Little Women to the gritty action of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In 2026, she stands as one of the most versatile actresses of her generation, recently captivating audiences in the non-linear romantic drama We Live in Time alongside Andrew Garfield. Her ability to anchor a massive blockbuster like Dune Part 2 as the regal princess Irulan, while simultaneously producing intimate indie projects like A Good Person, has made her an indispensable asset to both studio executives and art house directors. The flip side of Pugh's stardom is her vocal defiance of the traditional Hollywood beauty standards. She has famously used her platform and her red carpet fashion choices to challenge the industry's obsession with perfection, often speaking out against the mental expectations placed on female actors to look like runway models. Whether she is defending her right to wear bold designs or sharing unpolished cooking with flow videos from her kitchen, Pugh has cultivated a brand built on transparency and self-trust. As she prepares to lead the MCU's anti-hero team in Thunderbolts and reprises her role in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday, she remains a rare example of a star who has achieved A-list status without ever shrinking herself to fit a mold. Florence Pugh isn't just a leading lady. She is a trailblazer who is proving that in the new Hollywood, being yourself is the ultimate power move. Austin Butler stands as a testament to the power of pure, obsessive dedication in an industry that often favors quick, viral moments. Before becoming a household name, Butler spent over a decade grinding through the Disney and Nickelodeon circuits. A flip side of his career that many fans forget. His transformative performance in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis didn't just win him an Oscar nomination, it fundamentally altered his persona, famously leaving him with a lingering Southern drawl that became a viral talking point. This level of method commitment signaled to Hollywood that Butler wasn't just another handsome face. He was a craftsman willing to lose himself entirely in a role. By 2026, he has successfully shed the sequins of the king of rock and roll to become one of the most versatile chameleons of the new Hollywood era. His recent trajectory shows a deliberate move toward dark, high-concept cinema. From his chilling, unrecognizable turn as the psychopathic Fade Routha In Dune, Part 2, to his gritty, brooding lead in The Bike Riders, Butler has proven he can command both massive sci-fi epics and intimate character studies. Currently, he is pushing his physical and mental limits even further, starring in Darren Aronofsky's high-stakes thriller Caught Stealing and Ari Aster's neo-Western Eddington. Butler maintains a level of old Hollywood mystique by staying off social media and letting his work speak for itself, as he prepares to lead the crime saga City on Fire and takes on the mantle of a modern-day Patrick Bateman in Luca Guadagnino's American Psycho. Austin Butler is solidifying his place as a star who isn't just famous for being seen, but for being completely and utterly unforgettable. If there is one actress who embodies the quality over quantity mantra of the new Hollywood era, it is Cailee Spaeny. Her rise has been a masterclass in strategic curation, moving from a teen dreamer in Missouri to the leading lady of some of the most iconic franchises in history. Spaeny first signaled her potential in The Craft, Legacy, but it was her 2023 portrayal of Priscilla Presley in Sofia Coppola's Priscilla that turned her into a critical powerhouse, earning her a Golden Globe nomination. Unlike many of her peers who might have stayed in the indie lane, Spaeny immediately pivoted to high-stakes genre cinema, starring as a war photographer in A24's Civil War and taking on the mantle of a sci-fi icon in Alien: Romulus. In 2026, Spaeny is solidifying her status as a commercially viable lead who still maintains a prestigious artistic edge. She is set to join the star-studded ensemble of Rian Johnson's Wake Up, Dead Man, a Knives-Out mystery, a franchise known for casting the industry's most relevant talent. Furthermore, she is expanding her reach into high-end television, starring in and executive producing the second season of Netflix's Emmy-winning anthology Beef, alongside Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan. The flip side of Spaeny's success is her radical focus on the craft. She famously dropped out of school at age 13 to pursue acting, a gamble that has clearly paid off. As rumors swirl about her joining Alex Garland's rumored Elden Ring adaptation, Spaeny stands as the go-to lead for visionary directors who need an actress capable of bridging the gap between human vulnerability and blockbuster grit. In the landscape of a new Hollywood, Barry Keoghan is the ultimate wildcard, a performer whose presence is defined by an unpredictable, often unsettling energy that demands the audience's full attention. Keoghan's journey from the foster care system in Dublin to the heights of global stardom is the flip side story of resilience that anchors his intense craft. After haunting performances in The Killing of a Sacred Deer and his Oscar-nominated turn in The Banshees of Inisherin, Keoghan became a viral sensation in 2023 with Saltburn. However, as we move through 2026, he is actively pushing back against the weird guy label. In a recent interview, Keoghan admitted he is shifting his focus toward range and longevity, citing legends like Daniel Day-Lewis as his blueprint for a career built on selective, high-impact choices. March 2026 marks a massive milestone for Keoghan as he officially takes the reins of a legendary franchise. In the newly released theatrical epic, Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, Keoghan stars as Duke Shelby, the estranged son of Tommy Shelby. Critics are already hailing him as Cillian Murphy's natural successor, bringing a live-wire energy to the Birmingham underworld that feels both dangerous and new. Simultaneously, he is dominating the box office in the heist thriller Crime 101, playing a calculated thief alongside Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo. Whether he is channeling the Shelby spirit or exploring magical realism in indie hits like Andrea Arnold's Bird, Keoghan remains the most distinctive actor of his generation. He isn't just playing characters. He is creating cinematic puzzles that the world is eager to solve, proving that in the new era, the outsider has finally become the ultimate insider. While many stars on this list climb the traditional Hollywood ladder, Sophie Wilde represents the new, globalized frontier of the industry. The Australian actress became an overnight sensation following her raw, visceral performance in the 2023 A24 horror hit Talk to Me. Her ability to portray grief-stricken vulnerability and terrifying possession in the same breath signaled the arrival of a major new talent who didn't need the old studio system to find a worldwide audience. By 2026, Wilde has successfully bypassed the Scream Queen label, leveraging her indie success into a high-stakes career that spans prestigious erotic thrillers like Baby Girl, where she held her own alongside Nicole Kidman, and massive digital franchises. The flip side of Wilde's ascent is her role as a bridge between traditional cinema and the new era of interactive storytelling. She is currently set to lead the live-action film adaptation of the blockbuster video game Watch Dogs, a project that places her at the center of a major multimedia expansion. Her 2026 schedule is perhaps the most prestigious of her generation, featuring a leading role in Alejandro G. Iñárritu's highly anticipated film Digger, alongside Tom Cruise and Riz Ahmed. As a Dior ambassador and a frequent presence on the global fashion circuit, Wilde has cultivated an image that is both high fashion and deeply grounded. She represents the new Hollywood ideal, a globally minded artist who can move from a low-budget Australian horror film to a Tom Cruise epic without ever losing the earthly authenticity that made her a star in the first place.